My name is Teresa Wheeler. I am 32 years old, and I'm standing in my parents' San Diego kitchen, gripping my sister's wedding invitation. Tomorrow is her big day, and I'm bursting with excitement. Dress picked, speech polished. Mom, I'm so excited for the wedding tomorrow, I say, my voice bright. She stiffens, her spoon clattering against her mug. Teresa, she says, her eyes darting away, it was last week. My chest tightens, my breath catching. The invitation falls from my hand. I snatch it up. Tomorrow's date stares back at me. What do you mean? I demand, my voice shaking. She mumbles. We sent the wrong date. It's done. My pulse roars. My family, mom, dad, my sister, lied to exclude me. I think of the thousands I've poured into their lives. My sister's debts, their vacations, their house repairs. All while they push me aside. My jaw clenches. I won't cry. I won't beg. Something hardens in me. They think they can use me and then toss me aside. They're about to learn I'm not that easy to erase. Later that night, I sat in my gas lamp quarter condo, staring at the invitation. Its elegant script mocked me.
How could they?
I tossed the card onto the coffee table, my mind spiraling back through the years I had served as their safety net, always there, always giving. 3 years ago, my sister, Vicky, then 27, launched her interior design business. Her first major project tanked when a client bailed, leaving her with $10,000 in debt. I got the call at midnight, her voice shaky, begging for help. I'll pay you back, she swore. I wired the money the next day. No questions asked. She never mentioned it again. I brushed it off, thinking that's what sisters do. Then there was mom and dad's house. 2 summers back, it needed a new roof and foundation repairs. $30,000, they said, or we'll lose it. I covered it, dipping into the savings I'd built from years of late nights as a tech project manager. My dad mumbled something about gratitude. My mom just nodded. I thought it brought us closer. I was wrong. They never invited me to their Christmas parties, those loud, crowded gatherings where they showed off their home. You're too busy with your career, Mom would say, her tone sharp. Last Thanksgiving was the worst. I'd driven 3 hours to join them, only to find the house empty. We're at the neighbors, my sister texted, no invitation attached. I stood on their porch, keys dangling, feeling like an intruder. I'd funded their lives, their debts, their repairs, even their anniversary trip to Napa. But I was always the outsider, the one they called when checks bounced, not when they celebrated. My phone buzzed, snapping me back to the present. It was my cousin Claudia Page, a freelance journalist who always had my back. Teresa, are you okay? She asked, her voice soft but urgent. I told her about the invitation, my words tumbling out in a torrent of hurt and disbelief. She sighed, a heavy, sad sound. I didn't want to be the one to tell you this, she said, but they planned it. Vicky insisted you'd overshadow her day. Your job, your confidence. Your mom backed her up. They deliberately sent the wrong date to keep you away. My grip tightened on the phone. My sister, the one I'd bailed out, thought I'd ruin her wedding. And my mom, who had taken my money without a second thought, agreed. I paced my condo, the city lights flickering outside. Every ignored call, every snide remark about my fancy career, every exclusion now made a sickening kind of sense. I had been their bank, their fixer, but never their equal. You don't deserve this, Teresa. Claudia's voice was steady. What are you going to do? I stopped pacing, my reflection staring back from the dark window. They thought they could erase me from their perfect day.
Fine.
I would show them I wasn't just their fallback plan. I would show them who really held the power. The next morning, I drove to my parents' house, my heart pounding. I wasn't there to plead. I was there for a confrontation. I banged on the door. My mom, Betty, opened it, her eyes widening. Teresa, why so early? I pushed past her into the living room where my dad, Gerald, sat with his coffee and Vicky sprawled on the couch, scrolling through her phone. They all stilled as I stood before them, arms folded. Why did you lie to keep me from the wedding? I asked, my voice like steel. Vicky's head snapped up. All right, she said, her voice dripping with defiance. I didn't want you there. You always steal the spotlight with your tech job and your confidence. It was my day, not yours. I've given you everything, I said, my voice low and controlled. And you repay me by cutting me out. My mom stepped between us, her face hard. Teresa, you're too independent. It makes us feel inadequate. Vicky deserved to shine. Her defense was a knife, twisting deeper. My dad just sat there, silent, his eyes on the floor, his complicity a tangible thing. I looked at them. Vicky's smug expression, Mom's forced calm, Dad's avoidance, and saw no regret, only justification. This isn't the end, I said, my hand on the doorknob as I left. Vicky laughed, a harsh, cutting sound.
What?
You going to make us pay? She mocked. I didn't look back. They'd underestimated me, assuming I'd swallow their betrayal. They had built their lives on my support. Now they would learn what happened when that support vanished. The next day, I sat in my downtown San Diego office and pulled out a folder. My family had no idea that I possessed a weapon they never suspected. I called Claudia. 5 years ago, I began. Mom and Dad were about to lose their beach house in La Jolla. I bought it. $200,000 of my savings. It's legally mine. Claudia's breath caught. You own the La Jolla house? They never said a word. Exactly, I replied. I let them live there, no rent, thinking it was for family. After this, I'm done being their doormat. Teresa, she said, her voice fierce, that's your asset. They've used you long enough. Her support was like steel. I ended the call and dialed my lawyer, Linda Morse, a woman known for her razor-sharp legal mind. Within an hour, she was in my office, reviewing the deeds and contracts. This is solid, she said, holding up the deed.
You own it outright. No encumbrances.
Legally, they are tenants at best. We can prepare eviction notices today. Get the paperwork ready, I told her. I want it ironclad. Claudia called again as Linda left. Teresa, I just heard Vicky's been hosting clients at the beach house, passing it off as hers. My jaw tightened, flaunting my property to prop up her shaky business. It was another slap. She'll find out soon enough, I said, my voice low. A week later, I was in my financial advisor's office, severing every financial tie they had exploited. My lawyer, Linda, stood nearby. These forms close the joint account you open with your parents, my advisor, Robert, said. And this one transfers the $15,000 loan your sister took out into your parents' names. They're on the hook now, not you. I signed each page, my pen steady. My phone lit up with a text from Vicky. Teresa, I'm sorry.
Can we talk?
I ignored it. Her apology was too late. This locks your family out of your accounts and investments, Robert continued. They're untouchable. For years, I'd paid their bills, covered their mistakes, even handled the taxes for the beach house they rented out for profit, pocketing the income while I footed the maintenance costs. Today, that ended. As I left the office, my phone buzzed again. Teresa, don't cut us off like this. I swiped the message away. She thought guilt would pull me back. But I was done. They had used my property, my money, and my trust. Now I was free to let them face the consequences. 3 weeks later, Claudia called. Teresa, your sister's in trouble, she said. Vicky lost a $50,000 design contract. She and her husband, Scott, are scrambling. A grim satisfaction settled in. Vicky's husband called me that afternoon. Teresa, I owe you an apology, he said, his voice low. I had no idea Vicky planned to keep you from the wedding. His sincerity was surprising, but it changed nothing. Later, an email from my mom arrived. Subject: Please, Teresa. I deleted it without opening. Claudia called again that evening. There's more. Your family has been telling people you're selfish, that you abandoned them for your career. My jaw tightened. They couldn't control me, so they were trying to ruin my name. A month after the wedding that wasn't, they showed up at my office. My mom, Dad, and Claudia stood in the lobby. Teresa, we need to talk, Mom said, her voice trembling. We're sorry. I crossed my arms, unmoved. We didn't mean to hurt you, Dad said. I pulled out my phone and opened a video Vicky had accidentally sent in a group chat months ago, a clip from her wedding reception. I hit play. The footage showed Vicky laughing, toasting with guests. Good thing Teresa's not here to steal my spotlight, she said, her voice clear. Claudia's face went pale. She planned it, she whispered, turning to my parents. You knew. Their guilty silence was all the confirmation I needed. Teresa, please, Mom's voice cracked. We're struggling. Let us stay in the beach house, just for a while.
Isterte her, incredulous.
They had rented out my La Jolla property for years, pocketing the profits while I paid for its upkeep. Now they wanted to move in. No, I said, my voice cold. That house is mine. You've taken enough. We're your family, she pleaded. But family didn't scheme and lie. I turned to security. Paul, please escort them out. As they were led away, I walked back to my office, Claudia beside me. You did the right thing, she said. I nodded, my chest tight. I had built my life without them. Their apologies were hollow. I wasn't their fallback anymore. 6 months later, I stood on the deck of my La Jolla beach house. The ocean breeze wrapped around me, carrying a freedom I'd earned. My career had taken flight after a recent promotion. Claudia and Linda, my steadfast friends, were my pillars. Yesterday, an invitation arrived for my parents' anniversary. I sent a small, courteous gift. That door was firmly shut. Claudia shared news of their struggles. Vicky and Scott had moved to a tiny apartment, their finances in ruins. My parents faced their own reckoning, their reputations stained by their deceit. I leaned on the railing, gazing at the waves. My family's selfishness had cost them everything. Choosing myself had brought me freedom. This journey taught me a truth. Your worth isn't what others take from you. It's what you build for yourself. I had let them define me for too long, but no more.